Hello, everyone. This is my introduction video to our diversity and oppression class. So let's get to it. So my name is Rebecca, and I am English and part German. So when I the first question of where it's asking like who I am, I think of everyone saying like their heritage, their culture, who they are, and I'm just like I'm Caucasian. And but I love like hearing other people on how like who they are through their culture and heritage and ethnicity. It's made them to who they are today. And I think that in some ways for me, but I think also it's a lot more than that. For myself, like I grew up with a learning disability. I grew up as an only child. And I think some of that, those challenges have made me into who I am today, as a person. We all have our challenges and struggles in life, and I think for me that's what it has been. Everything is school related, getting to where I am today. It's been hard, but I think with the support, which kind of leads into the next question, has helped me. Like with my parents, they're huge supporters in my life. They help me through my challenges and stressors. And they're my role models, and I look up to them, as well as their family members. They help me as well, and definitely not easy. Definitely have some family members who are distant. Families aren't meant to be perfect, but I think they a lot of them still support me in certain ways, and I like to think of this question of who are my people, not just my family members, even though they are a huge part of my life, and some of them have helped me become who I am today, but also like my friends, pretty much anyone who I like contact with or have met in life, because I think in this life as Christians, it's challenging, and so having those people help guide you along the way is super important. And so I think my people are, my friends and my new friends and classmates and professors, because I think without that support, then I wouldn't be where I am today, if that makes sense. Okay, so anyways, moving on to like the next couple questions. For me, I want to be a school social worker. My dream is to work with kids. It has been since day one. And with me growing up and going to school that wasn't really diverse, and even working at a school and interning at a school that's not really diverse, it's hard. I don't live in the city. I live in more a rural area, and even interning in a rural area. And so I don't get that exposure. I don't get that knowledge of working with a whole lot of different ethnicities and cultures, and so I don't know. I think like through this class, I'm gonna learn a lot, but also, a way that I learned is not just like the material we're reading. A lot of the time, like with my learning disability, it does go right over my head, but for me, like I learn through exposure, and so learning from my cohort, learning about what they're doing in their practice, but also of who they are as a person. We have a diverse group of people in this program, and so I think just learning from them too kind of help me along the way. And so I think that's one thing I'm looking forward to, is continuing to learn through my classmates and professor, and I'm looking forward to even learning more as I go on with my students, because I I love learning about different cultures. I've gone on 4 missions trips in my life. I love learning about it, and I like exposing myself into it. But, in reality, it's hard to do that. I don't have tons of money to always go on missions trips, but I think that's the exciting thing is meeting students and learning about their culture, learning about who they are. I even had a supervisor at my undergrad internship, and she was Indian, and she would bring in some of her food and would share with us, and I just love that. And so I think that's a huge thing. So moving on with how does your faith connect with these topics, for my faith, it's I wouldn't say it's super strong because I'm definitely working on that, but it is important to me as a Christian and growing up. I think Jesus would want us to be accepting, and he, in the Bible we see it all throughout the Bible that he is accepting of others who are different from him, and I think that's very beautiful. And as Christians, we're supposed to have like this character like as Jesus, and be like him and love on people who are different from us. And so I think of that a lot, but I also think that sometimes it's hard because I get in my own head and I do or say things that I know and I don't think of that could be offending to them, to someone who is not of the same culture as I am. And so but I think as a Christian, that's something I'm working on, is just loving on this group of people who are different, who are struggling with who they are as a person and their culture. So I'm trying to think, be more like Jesus and love. I think that's a huge part of social work. So, and so how will you reconcile the dissonance, if there's any? I think it's all about learning. It's a process. And so just like I mentioned a lot in this video, is exposing myself more and more. I don't know, I'm repeating myself. I don't know what else to really say, except I'm just looking forward to learning from everyone. And anyways, I'm gonna go now before this gets more awkward. So thank you. Bye.